You know, what do you say about Michael Hansen? I have a lot to say about Michael Hansen. We could be here for a while. When he came to my class when he was a junior in high school, I had a very, very gifted poet there who I love and who I actually got to stand in front of and marry last summer with her husband. And it was really fantastic. And she was fantastic. She was gifted, absolutely gifted. And she wrote poems that were just incredible. Why am I talking about her? Because Michael came in, he was pretty good. He wrote some pretty good poems. They were pretty good. And then he wrote better poems. And Angela continued to write really, really great poems. And Michael wrote better poems. And Michael got disciplined. And Michael read. And he played in a band with me with another very good poet, our friend Craig. And then he went to school and he studied more and he got better and he wrote more. One summer, he and I had a crazy project to write 7 poems a week for 11 weeks, and we did that for 11 weeks and had 77 pages of poetry at the end of the summer, and we continued to do that for a while, and he went on, and he studied, and he wrote better and better poems. So I started the story with the gifted poet, and I know that Michael is the gifted poet, because he has both a gift, and he has discipline, and he has passion. And as much as I love Angela, she didn't continue to write poetry. She's going to be a fantastic, neuroscientist. she's fabulous for that. And I wish she'd write some poems now and again. But Michael continued to do what he has done, and he's become an incredible poet. He's an inspiration to me. He is my first auditor when it comes to poems. When I write poems, I write them for him because I know he's the first person who will ever read them every time. And so he's my great friend and a wonderful, wonderful poet. Michael is a PhD candidate at the University of Chicago, where he edits the Chicago Review. His poems have appeared in the Boston Review, Denver Quarterly, Verse, Volt, Quarterly West, Western Humanities Review, among other journals. Please welcome my friend Michael G. Hansen.
Well, thanks, Joel. That was really nice. I could thank Joel for a lot of things up here, too, and it would take a while, including marrying us. But I won't. One thing about neuroscientists is that they make a lot more money than poets. And Sean, another friend in the same class, is also a neuroscientist. And the NSA, right, NSA? Yeah, they give them more money than poets. Anyway, when I started coming to City Art, I was young. I was in Joel's class, and actually, Joel didn't mention that I wasn't a very good student. My mom could tell you that. When I met Joel, I wasn't a great student, and Joel gave me a real talking to, and I started going to class more, and so I owe a lot to Joel, but. I started coming to these readings at City Art when they were in the basement of a church, Mount Tabor Church. As soon as I could drive, I'd come down and I'd see these readings every couple of weeks. And at one of the first readings, I don't remember who was reading, but I remember meeting Craig Arnold, who, as Joel said, we played in a band for a few years, but he was standing outside in a leather hat and leather pants and a leather jacket, some kind of ridiculous shirt, and actually was younger than I am now, which is weird, but I idolized Craig for years, and I know a lot of people in this room knew Craig and miss Craig. So one of the things Craig used to do before readings, though, is he would read someone else's poem. So I'm going to read one of Craig's before I read some of my own, and then I'm going to read a couple poems from Craig, move on to some other things. It's from Craig's first book, Ubi Sunt. You're dead, poet who could smooth the language like a sheet over the body of a dying lover, who made me realize how soothe meant show the truth. That was the weight you balanced lightly on your tongue. Too young, too crude, too high-strung. I understand at last too late to tell you how much you've impressed on me, my brain's wet clay. Your thumb is ridged and whirled, your fingers drum little rhythms still. A guest in the house of poetry, I slipped downstairs at night to raid the fridge, and won the unearned privilege of watching you with a manuscript, thin rows of syllables, and strip the bottom leaves of raw green shoots to graft onto the black roots of words. There, one firm fingertip teases the gold leaf to lie still along the bowed branch and the stem of the first letter. Here's a gem, set in the ink trussed windowsill, a flower, a Greek name, a blue willow-ware cup. All your hoard is drawn out piece by piece and poured into the hollow of a U. Makes me sad. Think about Gray. In a bronzed cape on a crate, the vacant infants glassed in carriages and lovely mothers passing through mechanical doors underground, a man turns wind for coins in the tunnels. He's painted gold. Seeing it, I imagine you here, and naturally, you are here. You are awake, waiting. Open your transom mouth to me. In the panes under glass, bridge lights, river ice, hurdling. Taller than me, Tim. You are here. Where you were living, tongues clotting. Nights, shepherd sad, animal sounds, home. Lungless, less longing, two blanched memorial stones. A few quick poems from the Sarah Lawrence era where I met Timmy. Emulsion. Then the birds lift through the molting branches. Turn. As through a tunnel of mirrors, one bird, still bird, swiveling. Shadow streams, then the bird over the molting branches turns. As through a tunnel of mirrors, many birds light. Then machinery light over them, shadows them. Sonnet for a picture. In the picture, waves, cows crowing like hymnodists seaward in fits of ice-bowed evening opening handsomely. Far off, dusk-lit windows bell and stagger, the houses untenanted, children rusting in the weeds, bright capes blossoming. The mouth is a poor music box. How, when from the moth-white funereal winter canvas, like cries of hand-fasted girls unfastening, the instruments spoke, did they speak? Theater laughter. Stars, likewise, go out, go on without us like a song. Sonnet for a picture, Fallujah. Even the dogs breathe shudder-mangled accordion stacks of silver. Plastic-wrapped customers emerge, point to their pouches and disappear in the rocks. Smoke. Day declared on a wall someone had scrawled, but there was no one to welcome to receive it. Day fled. Elsewhere, infantry, debris, a few arms skirt the Euphrates, house sweep, narrow street, sound of the walk of the watched. We continue to. Drowned traffic, nothing to see. One recent, or not really that recent, but a poem I wrote with Joel's students. I can't remember if it was last summer or 2 ago now in Gilgal Gardens, getting old. So Gilgal Gardens, if you haven't been, you should go. It's right by the Wonder Bread Factory, and a really remarkable place, right? Yeah. Right by the Wonder Bread Factory? Is that the bakery over there?
It's right up on Trolley Square.
If you haven't been, you should go. Yeah.
It's an odd place.
So there are some of the text is borrowed from various, I don't know if you call them shrines or what you'd call them exactly. But Gilgal Gardens, souls tubed and tourniqueted, fragrant in pollen-stalled light. The smell of wonder dough travels down. Blind priests, a drowsing sphinx spitting ink and meat and images of meat. Datum, datum, datum. Eden, Adam, Ondiaman, Harmony, PA, Jerusalem. Riddles of limitless repose, dead water, and peace, to which nothing matters. And then, for the rest of the reading, I just want to read from a longish, what I hope will be eventually a manuscript-length poem, serial poem called Dear Crown. And the poem it's based on a kind of my own reconfiguration of sonic crown sequences. So this is just to explain the repetition you'll hear, so you don't wonder if I'm crazy. There's a lot of repetition going on in this poem. Dear Crown. Okay. Dear Crown, dear brain, cradle me down, days down. Bladder of burrs, limed fur, head song. Is alive, gauze-sighted, humming mindlessly out of collapsed circuitry. Thop, 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 meat blossomer moved over. Quaint apart fixture opened upon her, I murmuring stumps, master director, hacked limber. Murmured sedge marled over, never director. Master swelt under rigged leaves, spent along trunk, sewn back under, fleeced father, murmuring blue, blue, blotter. Came to dark pools. I stared or mirrored, went under, came to operant laughter. Soft weather shops and shading gorged daughters. Unfortunately, this particular piece is very timely since it was written during the last bombing of neighborhoods in Gaza over the holidays. Oh well, stairwell, archidaphorous plants, gold, gray, mark men, guts, building, guts, marrowed, hollowed hallways breezy. It was enough to live, to see love like a boy, stomached, gold, gray. On holiday news, rotate and rise around gunship sounds into, out of collapsed circuitry, mindlessly, stuttering gloves above and police lights bloodied, is alive, surfaced like a sleeper falling at a mirror. I murmuring stumps, master director, fleeced father, murmuring blue, blue, blotter, went under, came to operant laughter, rigged leaves, spent along trunks, sewn back under, hacked limber, murmured sedge marled over, came to dark pools, I stared her, mirrored, quaint apart, fixture opened upon her, never director, master swelt under, soft weather shops and shading gorged daughters, thop, 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 meat, blossomer moved over. Falling at a mirror, mouth agape, visitor friend, shame-laced, pageantry, from collapsed circuitry, flowering mindlessly, eyes open but empty. Wheeled nor belled, rankled nor boned, worldly wheel. Wheel its sun gone, wheel its sun, brain its steel. Wheel its sun, brain its sun gone, worldly wheel, nor fattened nor bled upon neighbor's meal. Fattened sun swallowing stone, worldly wheel, nor moaned tongue, nor graven one, worldly wheel. Eyes open but empty, entirely, turning mindless out of collapsed circuitry, is alive, breathing chlorine. What world underneath? Turn, return. All the mouths at the bedfoot grew when watered. Likewise, girls ballooning in the street, forks all morning in their throats. How awful to dream that and go on while sunlight cripples the room. Tock, tock. Return as curio birds recollect in jars. Tock, tock, and rise. So in ash in all morning, knowing no one. Weather awakes. Underneath, turn, return. Mauled maudlin collar father unhelmeting, plink, plink, is alive. Circuitry stitched, airport burial ticks falling, white or blue. Barrelless striped clay skulls in a prospect I saw. Snoring toe up there, I am upright, dreaming like my fathers slept. The pines dome down. Soft among schoolgirls surfaced, laddered, horse trammel hung, the tune went. The tune goes, barrelless striped clay skulls. Sorry, this isn't very light. There's been a lot of war going on in the last few years. Rigged leaves spent along trunks, sewn back under my murmuring stumps. Master director, fleeced father, murmuring blue, blue, blotter, hacked limber. Murmured sedge marled over. Came to dark pools. I stare at her mirrored, never director, master swelt under. Thop, 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 meat blossomer moved over, soft weather shops and shading gorged daughters. Quaint apart, fixture opened upon her, went under, came to operant laughter. Falling overhead, whiter blue, under new weather, eyes leaking on the green park people, headlamp cock loose, mindlessly suddenly, black swallows, winter leaves. I woke up in the law. Iron leaves tick, ticking. I looked under the law. Iron field, animals like integers chalked in, past one, lean-to bodies limbed together, 2 black stick boats, 3 lunged aspens ringing his 4 discarded daylight shirt and hat, his 5 notes, my notes, in little nests there, black suit, big pig, big pulp tongue for a face. Hid up in hills, groomed glasses, hooded, unhooked book shaking its sleeves. When the angel came for me under my tree, I was asleep in my dream, running backward, running black river water? What happened to your plow hand? Right above the sun's dead river water, dead drowned Indians choiring my dream. Black swallows, winter leaves, lightning down, days down. Blank animal, warm sleeve. Lord, mindless, enter me not like talk, like a poem. Dear crown, dear brain cradle. That's it.